Okay, good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the April 11th DuPage County Finance Committee meeting to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Member Cahill, Member Chaplin,
Here.
Member Childress,
Here.
Member Colbert, Member Desart, Member Eckhoff, Member Evans, here, Member Galassi, here, Member Garcia, here, Member Guston, Member Krajewski, Member LaPlante, Member Ozag, Member Rutledge, here, Member Schwarzy, Member Tornatori, Member Yu, here, and Member Zay.
Okay, we have a quorum. Do we have any public comment this morning? Okay, no public comment. We'll move on to, I have no chairwoman remarks. We'll move on to the approval of the minutes. Can I have a motion on 23-1332 Finance Committee regular meeting from Tuesday, March 28th? Motion by member Guston, second by member Covert. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, the motion carries. We move on to budget transfers. Can I have a motion on FIR 10823, budget transfers from 4/11/2023, various companies and accounting units? The motion by member Guston, second, or motion by member Garcia, second by member Guston. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, the motion carries. We're going to move on to procurement requisitions in Member Krajewski's absence. Member Zay, I'm going to call on you. Okay, thank you. Oh, your microphone, Member Zay.
Give me too much this early in the morning.
I'm sorry.
Good morning. Thank you, Member Chaplin. I move on FIP 423, recommendation for approval of a contract purchase order. The SHI International Corp for governmentjobs.com, Neo Government for licensing, e-recruiting, employee on board, onboarding, employee forms software for human resources, the amount of $376,551.77.
I have a motion by member Zay, a second by member Evans. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. We move on to human services. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on item HSP 5323, a recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Bright Star Care of Central DuPage to provide supplemental staffing for the DuPage Care Center for the period April 13th, 23 through April 12th, 24 for a total contract amount not to exceed $450,000 per renewal under proposal number 21006 Care. The second of 3 one-year option renewals is a partial ARPA item.
Okay, we have a motion by member Schwarzy, a second by member Childress. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, the motion carries. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you. I move on item HSP 5423, a recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Maxim Healthcare Services, Inc. to provide supplemental nursing staff for the DuPage Care Center for the period of April 13th, 23 through April 12th, 24 for a total contract amount not to exceed $120,000 per renewal under proposal number 21006 Care, the second of 3 one-year optional renewals, partial ARPA item.
Have a motion by member Schwarzy, a second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, the motion carries. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you. I move on item HSP 5523, a recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Nova Staff Healthcare Services, Inc. to provide supplemental nursing staff for the DuPage Care Center for the period of April 13th, 23 through April 12th of 24 for a total contract amount not to exceed $950,000 per renewal under proposal number 21006 Care, the second of 3 one-year optional renewals, partial ARPA item.
I have a motion by member Schwarzy, second by member Garcia, and members, they have a question.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. You know, I was just wondering if we can get an update about staffing at the care center. I know we went through a lot of contract negotiations. We improved salaries over there, but I assume with the shortages, we continue to run short on staffing. So don't need, if we just get an update in an email from staff, I think that'd be perfect.
Janelle's on if you want her to give a.
No, an email would be
Okay.
fine, just to the county board, just letting us know
Sure.
where they stand.
I think
How many they're short.
great. Yeah, we
Okay.
can get that to you. Thank
Great.
you, members.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you. I move on item HSR 4423, a recommendation for the approval of a contract to Yami Vending, Inc. for managing beverage and snack vending machines at various locations on the DuPage County campus for the period of April 5th, 23 through March 31st, 24 per bid number 20-1012-Care, second and final of 2 one-year optional renewals.
Second.
I have a motion by member Schwartz, second by member Garcia. Member Childress, go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to know, if we got an answer on the healthy choices.
There was an email sent by Janelle
Okay.
earlier this week that yes, there are healthy options.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, member Childress. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, member Schwartz. We move on to judicial public safety. Member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to approve JPS C000CO0000323 recommendation for the approval of a change order amending purchase order 61830001 served issued to Bond Dickerson and Associates as Special Assistant State's Attorneys for the County Clerk to increase the purchase order in an amount of $100,000, resulting in an amended purchase order total amount not to exceed $200,000.
Motion by member Evans, second by member Guston. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to approve JPSP 005123 recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Axon Enterprise, Inc. for the purchase of 6 Axon Fleet in-car camera systems for the period of May 1st, 2023 through April 30th, 2028 for a contract total amount not to exceed $95,000.
Motion by member Evans, second by member Guston. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, member Evans. We move on to public works. Member Garcia.
Thank you, Chair. I move for approval of FMP 005023 recommendation for the approval of a contract to designate to provide professional architectural and engineering design services to complete the repair, maintenance, and long-term capital improvement and asset management goals for the 479 and 509 parking decks on county campus for facilities management for the period of April 11th, 2023 through December 15th, 2025 for a total contract not to exceed $304,260.
The motion by member Garcia, second by member Yu. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Member Garcia.
I move for approval of FMP 006123 recommendation for the approval of a contract to G&W Canada Corporation to furnish and deliver 2 linear puffer load brake switch gears for the Judicial Office Facility Annex for facilities management for the period of April 12th, 2023 through April 11th, 2024 for a contract total not to exceed $41,010.
Motion by member Garcia, second by member Yu. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, member Garcia. We move on to stormwater. Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on SMP 3423, recommendation approval of contract issued to Xylem Water Solutions for the purchase of 3 pumps at the Elmhurst Quarry Flood Control Facility in the amount not to exceed $1,117,795.85.
Have a motion by member Zay, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Move on SMP 3523, recommendation for approval of contract issued to Robinson Engineering, on-call professional engineering services for stormwater management in the amount not to exceed $95,000.
Motion by member Zay, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Move on SMP 3623, recommendation approval of agreement between DuPage County and V3 Construction Group to provide professional native vegetation management services for stormwater management, the amount not to exceed $75,000.
Have a motion by member Zay, second by member Guston. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Member Zay.
Madam Chair, move on SMP 3723, recommendation approval of an agreement between DuPage County and NCAP to provide professional native vegetation management services for stormwater management in the amount not to exceed $100,000.
Motion by member Zay, second by member Guston. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Member Zay.
Madam Chair, move on SMP 3823, recommendation approval of an agreement between DuPage County and Pizzo and Associates for professional native vegetation management services in the amount not to exceed $50,000.
Motion by member Zay, second by member Guston. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, member
Thank
Zay. We move on to technology. Member Yu.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on TEP 005323, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Titan Image Group to furnish and deliver printed business envelopes for DuPage County Departments for the period of April 11, 2023 through April 10, 24, for a contract total amount not to exceed $116,800.
Have a motion by member You, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Thank you, member You. We move on to transportation, member Ozog.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for approval of DTR 031-3A 21. Amendment to resolution issued to Lorrig Construction Company for I-355 noise abatement wall to increase the funding in the amount of $20,000, resulting in an amended total amount of $360,420.50, an increase of 5.88%.
Have a motion by member Ozog, second by member Cahill. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Member Ozog.
I move for approval of DTCO 004323, recommendation for the approval of an increase of $15,000 to contract purchase order 5797-001 serve issued to Northern Contracting to furnish, deliver, repair, and install guardrails as needed for the Division of Transportation for the period May 12, 2022 through May 11, 2023, for amended contract total amount not to exceed $44,900.
Motion by member Ozog, second by member Childress. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTO 005023, ordinance approving the execution of an intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and the Lyle Park District for land conveyance related to the improvements along County Highway 3, Warrenville Road Bridge over the east branch of the DuPage River. County cost $7,500.
Motion by member Ozog, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Member Ozog.
Okay, I move for approval of DTP 005623. Recommendation with the approval of a contract purchase order to Al Warren Oil Company Incorporated to furnish and deliver automotive lubricants as needed for the Division of Transportation for the period April 12, 2023 through October 11th, 2023, for a contract total not to exceed $30,000 for lowest responsible bid.
Motion by member Ozog, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTP 005723. Recommendation for the approval of a contract to Float Construction Incorporated to furnish and deliver bituminous paving materials for the Western region as needed for the Division of Transportation and Facilities Management for the period of April 12, 2023 through March 31st, 2024, for a contract total not to exceed $51,000 per lowest responsible bid.
Motion by member Ozog, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Member Ozog.
Thanks. I move for approval of DTP 005823, recommendation for the approval of a contract to BCR Automotive Group LLC, Roche Ford, to furnish and deliver Ford Motorcraft repair and replacement parts as needed for the Division of Transportation for the period of May 13th, 2023 through May 12th, 2024, for a contract total not to exceed $70,000 per renewal option under bid award 2028 DOT, third and final option to renew.
Motion by member Ozog, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTP 005923. Recommendation for the approval of a contract to Vulcan Construction Materials to furnish and deliver coarse and fine aggregates as needed for the Division of Transportation, Public Works and Facilities Management for the period of April 12, 2023 through March 31st, 2024, for a contract total not to exceed $95,000 per lowest responsible bid.
Motion by member Ozog, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTP 006023. Recommendation for the approval of a contract to Ozinga Ready Mix Concrete Incorporated to furnish and deliver Portland cement concrete as needed for the Division of Transportation, Public Works and Facilities Management for the period of April 12, 2023 through March 31st, 2024, for a contract total not to exceed $100,000 per lowest responsible bid.
Motion by member Ozog, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, the motion carries. Member Ozog.
All of this is a sign that spring is coming. I hope everyone realizes that. I move for approval of DTP 006123, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Duquesne Asphalt Company to furnish and deliver bituminous paving materials for the central region as needed for the Division of Transportation, for the period April 2023 through March 31st, 2024, for a contract total not to exceed $110,000 per lowest responsible bid.
Motion by member Ozark, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Member Ozark.
I move for approval of DTP 006223, recommendation for the approval of a contract to K5 Construction Corporation to furnish and deliver bituminous paving materials for the Southeast region as needed for the Division of Transportation and Public Works for the period of April 2023 through March 31st, 2024, for a contract total not to exceed $139,000 per lowest responsible bid.
Motion by member Ozark, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, the motion carries. Member Ozark.
Thank you. And for this last one, I want to thank the clerk's office. They applied to the Illinois Department of Elections and received this money to further improve our fairgrounds and make it easier for our voters to access our voting area. This is, I move for approval of DTR 005823, awarding resolution to Manevel Construction Company Incorporated for the DuPage County Fairgrounds parking lot improvements for an estimated county cost of $535,014.45 per low bid. County will be reimbursed 100%. And thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I have a motion by member Ozark, second by member Desart. Any discussion on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Thank you, member Ozark.
Thank you.
We move on to finance resolutions. Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Move on. 23-1431 supervisor assessment staff to attend the State of Illinois Property Tax Appeal Board hearings in Springfield from April 17th through April 20th. Expenses include lodging, transportation, miscellaneous expenses, cost not to exceed $800.
Motion by member Zay, second by member Guston. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Move on. 23-1432 supervisors of assessment staff to attend the State of Illinois Property Tax Appeal Board hearings in Springfield, April 24th through April 27th. Expenses for transportation, lodging, miscellaneous expenses not to exceed $1,000.
Have a motion by member Zay, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, the motion carries. Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Move on. FIO 1-23 amendment to the county recording fee schedule for state increase to the rental housing support program surcharge.
Motion by member Zay. Do I have a second? Second by member Desart. Any discussion on this item? Member you and then member Guston. Member you.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I was wondering if I could get some more information about this rental housing support program surcharge and whether or not it just affects if the fee just comes from one particular category or if the fee applies to many different fees.
Do we have anyone from the recorder's office? I do believe this was a state change in state.
Was increased to.
Yeah.
Increase in
We
the
already
state,
have the
yeah.
fee.
Yep.
It's recorded
It
on
was,
your.
yeah, this was a
property tax
state mandate, yeah. Go ahead. Well, good morning, Kathy.
Good morning. I couldn't quite hear what you were saying. Sorry.
Mike is activated. Okay, so yes, my question was just, I wanted some more information about this particular surcharge and if it would affect more than one fee or if it was just one particular thing that would increase.
The rental housing fee is part of the cost to record a document that relates to real estate. The state has mandated us to increase it. So this isn't anything that we asked for. We're just the collection agency. We collect the money and pass it on to the state for rental housing. You're welcome.
Member Guston.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I knew that because I asked the same question before the meeting. But the concern that I have, if the state is going to continue to increase these fees, it's going to be less affordable for people to be able to, pay for these additional fees and taxes and everything else. So we kind of want to be really conscious of making sure that our representatives down in Springfield know when we're struggling with affordability, that these factors come into play too. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, member Guston. And that's something we can talk about too in legislative committee. Thanks for your comments. Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I move to combine items 8E through 8H These are all time extensions and acceptance appropriations for the Care Center Foundation.
We, members, I think we are in item D first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on FIO 2-23, ordinance amending chapter 33, article 5, real estate transfer tax, land trust transfer, the county code by restating and amending the previous established county tax on privileges for transferring real estate and beneficial interest in real estate.
Motion by member Zay, second by member Guston. Any discussion on this item? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Member Zay.
Now I'm going to move to combine items 8E through 8H.
I have a motion by member Zay and a second by member Desart to combine items E through H. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, go ahead, member
Thank
Zay.
you, Madam Chair. Move on FIR 104-23, accepting a time extension for DuPage County Care Center Foundation Music Therapy. Time extension on, I move on FIR 105-23, acceptance of time extension for DuPage Care Center Foundation Recreation Therapy Grant. Move on FIR 106-23, acceptance and appropriation DuPage Care Foundation Recreation Therapy Grant, the amount of $21,173. And I move on FIR 107-23, acceptance and appropriation of DuPage Care Center Foundation Coordination Grant, in the amount of $28,474.
Motion by member Zay, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Move on FIR 109-23, approval and extension of the grant agreement between DuPage County and DuPage Pads for a new agreement end date of March 31st, 2024. ARPA item.
Motion by member Zay, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. We move on to informational. I'm going to call on member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to receive and place on file A, payment of claims, B, wire transfers, C, appointments, D, grant proposal notifications.
I have a motion by member Zay, second by member Garcia to receive and place in files, item A, B, C, and D under informational. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, member Zay. We move on to old business and we have our 2023 draft DuPage County precinct map presentation update. We're going to call Jason Blumenthal. Good morning, Jason.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning, everybody. So last night, I believe you received an email from me. In that email, or I'm sorry, in front of you as well, you will see the printed maps that we'll be discussing today. You received an email from me. It included a memo from our Special Assistant State's Attorney indicating where we're at in the process, as well as the proposed maps. There was some changes since you last heard me about a month ago. This is to come into conformance with the state statute. Again, he spelt out in that memo what requirements are. I won't run through all of that again. But one thing that we made some changes on is in regards to municipal wards. That was something we were trying to get a little bit more finite with. We're still working through it. You'll also see updated voter count. I know that was a concern for you all last month, indicating there were some that were pretty high. There's a few that are still left high and we're working through it. It's just there's a cascading effect every time we make a little line change. It's substantial. So we're working through that and we're going to continue to do that. But today, just to talk through the process of where we're at and what we're doing. Today, we will announce or release, let me rephrase this, the online public portal that we discussed. It's what we did with the redistricting process as well. Individuals of the public will be allowed to go onto that GIS application you have. It'll just show the maps with presented or proposed guidelines on there. They have a survey, then they can make any public comment. We'll take that comment into consideration, as we always have. And we'll have that up until our next meeting, where I'll present on May 9th, which should be hopefully a much more final product, and upon hearing all of the feedback from you all. And as we're going through this process, please continue to send me feedback. I know quite a few of you have already talked to me about this. We appreciate it. And I know the Special Assistant State's Attorney appreciates it too. He's working with us on this pretty closely. Secondary, we will also be doing it. Individuals sometimes don't enjoy looking at these things online. So we're going to print all of them and we'll have them in the atrium. So much like we did again with the redistricting, though we had it in the county boardroom last time, we feel it's a little bit better in the atrium. It's a little bit easier to access. It's right on the first floor. So we'll present them, put them out there. We'll have a public comment box and some sheets where people can make comments, put them in there. So again, we're continuing to receive public feedback on these presented precinct maps. So again, these lines are in conformance, but again, we can still get better. We're getting there. We're working on it. We appreciate everybody who's talked to us about it so far. I'm not going to dig into presenting them up there or whatnot, but I will take any questions if you have any right now or anything about the process.
Member Zay and then Member Rutledge. Member Zay, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jason, one of the complaints I've heard, just concerns I've heard is, it sounds weird, but the numbering. Is there any way like, precinct 1 is over here next to precinct 65, precinct 2 is over there? If they can explain, I mean, I don't want the clerk to have to spend any more money on it.
No.
Doing that, but.
So at the very end, I think that's when we're going to renumber. The only reason we're doing it right now is for our reference as we're making changes right now. It's easier to switch it at the end because then if we're talking about, Naperville 3, we know where that is right now. We can renumber it and make it prettier at the end.
Okay.
If you guys are okay with it. It's just for right now, as we're talking about it, if we completely renumber it, it's going to confuse us until the end, just because we know kind of the general location of them.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
That's
Thank
not
you,
a
Member
problem.
Zay.
Great point, though. Thank you.
Member
I have the
Rutledge.
same question.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
we are
left
taking
to
that
right,
into
top to
consideration.
Bottom, if we're renumbering everything anyway,
Yep.
let's make this a little more easy to comprehend.
We
So
will
thank
make
you
it
for
clean.
that.
Yes.
Thank you, Member Rutledge. Member Desart.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So how does the numbering affect the precinct committee people in those areas? Because like, for example, if I was elected to precinct Naperville Township 75, and now I'm in a different precinct, I was elected to 75. How does that affect all the precinct committee people?
So it's a very good question. So the maps technically don't take effect until the next election of that precinct committeeman. So they would keep their current title and everything in that regard, because you're right, they're a duly elected individual. So they have to keep that position until then. That's when it kicks into effect. So they're renumbered. But realistically, if it's the historical Naperville 3, and maybe we've changed it now to 27, you're going to get a number change, yes, but that part doesn't really change. It's just you're known as a different precinct committeeman number then. No problem.
Thank you, Member Desart. Member Ozag.
So assuming we approve something in June, when would these become June 23? What's the actual start date? January 24?
I would have to double check. I don't remember off the top of my head what that election date would be, and I don't know if the state's attorney's office might know off that. I don't think so either. So
Yeah, I think it's the primary
believe it
of
is,
next,
but
of
I
2024.
don't know that date.
Okay, but it would be probably in effect for the
It-
primary, new precinct numbers, new precinct
Yes.
elections. Got it.
Right.
Thank you.
Correct. Everybody would run for their spots then.
Yeah.
Whoever so choose. Yep, correct.
They're cleaned up number.
If
Yes.
that's what we'd like to call it, sure.
They're-
Works for me.
Yeah, Member Rutledge.
Thank you, Chair Chaplin. So where do we go if the boundaries end up with 2 elected PCs in that new boundary?
They're just gonna have to put their names on and they're gonna have to have a
So that'll
primary.
be taken care of in the
In
election
the
that
parties.
this would become, okay.
Yep. Member you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I noticed that in the precincts, the number of voters, I know that they're supposed to be about 1,200, but there were definitely some precincts that had 1,500,
Yes,
more than
yes.
the 1,200. So I just wanted to ask about that.
Yeah, in again, great question. And that's what we're still trying to work through. It's just there's a cascading effect. So we haven't been able to fix all of them yet. And we're working with Bert and Ross to ask their advice on how best to do that. So you are right. I think the number everybody or they're more comfortable with is 1,300. So that's what we're going to kind of shoot for. But you are right. Right now, I think there's still a handful, maybe a dozen that are maybe 1,400 to 1,500. I believe you're correct.
Yeah, and that's the changes that have been made right now. We're just trying to bring some of those precincts down closer to 1,200. And they're going to continue to work on that, but every change that they make, they have to take in consideration the congressional, the state, the county, the municipal. So it's really tedious and hard work. So they may be able to get these down or they may not. So they're going to continue to work on this because this is
We're hopeful.
very time consuming. and a lot
We're
of
very
work.
hopeful.
very helpful. But yeah, very good question. So any other questions, comments, anyone? All right, well, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Jason, appreciate it.
Again, continue to send any feedback my way via email preferably, so I have a record. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, do we have any new business? Okay, seeing none, I am informed we do have matters before us requiring us to enter into executive session. I'll ask those that are not associated with the executive session to please exit the room. I'll take a motion to go into executive session pursuant to Open Meetings Act 5 ILCS 120/2C8, security procedures and the use of personnel and equipment to respond to an actual threatened or reasonably potential danger to the safety of employees, staff, the public, or public property. Who do we have a motion from? Member Ozog, and who's second? And Member Desart second. All in favor? Okay. Oh, we need a roll call. Roll call, please.
Member Cahill. Member Chaplin.
Aye.
Member Childress. Member Covert. Member Desart. Member Eckhoff. Member Evans.
Aye.
Member Galassi. Member Garcia. Member Guston. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Ozog. Member Rutledge. Member Swarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu.
Aye.
And Member Zay.
Okay. Is everything